Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Commander's Crypt. I've got an awesome video for you guys today. A buddy of mine helped me out and got me this Warhammer deck. Word on the street is these things are hard to get. Tyranid Swarm. It's blue, green, and red. He's blue, green, and red in 3, and he says, rapid regeneration. This Swarm Lord enters the battlefield with 2 +1/+1 counters on it for each time you've cast your commander from the command zone this game. Then it's Xenos Cunning. Whenever a creature you control with a counter on it dies, draw a card. Very, very interesting. The interest in these decks are very high. It caught me by surprise. I'm really liking this Warhammer stuff. Like I said in other earlier videos, I don't need any more addictions, but after looking at the cards and kind of looking at the lore and the stories and stuff, I'm kind of digging that game. So without further ado, we will get into it. Let's see what the back says here. In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. Choose your army and overcome both friend and foe as Warhammer 40,000 comes to the definitive multiplayer Magic format. Join the Tyranid hive mind and devour your opponents with massive monsters that grow bigger as you consume all who dare resist you. The Tyranids are a monstrous Xenos race from the farthest reaches of the galaxy. They are the ultimate parasitic predator, and every other species in the galaxy is their prey. As their swarms carve a swath through endless worlds, it becomes increasingly unclear if they can ever truly be defeated. Ooh, aliens, anyone? I kind of dig that. Kind of reminds me of the xenomorphs from Aliens. So, without further ado, we'll get into it. Yes, so, if this is your first time, or if you've been coming to the Commander's Crypt for a while now, you know that here at the Commander's Crypt, we absolutely love Commander. We love playing it. We love talking about it. We love doing it. I love the players. I love the people. So, what I'm getting at is, if you are watching, if you are subscribed, if you are not subscribed, please subscribe. But if you are watching and you like Commander, you are my friend. We just have not met yet. So this is the neat stuff that comes in the box. Next, we will open the cards. I'm going to have to get a Vanna White to come help me do this. And here is your cool life counter. Ooh, he's scary looking. All right. Yeah, very reminiscent of the xenomorphs in Alien. So, crack this open here and we'll get to it. And all right, so there it is. There it is, just out of the pack, straight out of the pack. Still has that new card smell. The Swarm Lord is the commander. Very cool, very cool. I'm really liking all this Warhammer stuff. I'm really digging it. So we've got the Swarm Lord. Next we got Magnus Lucia Kane. Spiritual leader. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Psychic stimulus, tap it, add 2 wingdings when you next cast a spell with a wingding in its mana cost or activate an ability with a wingding in its activation cost this turn. Copy that spell or ability. Ooh. You may choose new targets for the copy. Spicy. So she would make a pretty good commander on her own. Gene Stealer Locus, 1 blue and 3, Neurotromal Rod. Say that 3 times fast. Neurotromal Rod. Whenever a creature attacks you, it gets -1 and 0 until end of turn. Whenever a creature attacks one of your opponents, it gets +1 until end of turn. He's a 3/3 for 4. Okay. All right, let's see what else we got here. Acolyte Hybrid, 1 red and 2, Heavy Rock Cutter. Whenever he attacks, destroy up to 1 target artifact. If the artifact is destroyed this way, its controller draws a card. Okay, all right. I don't like that my opponent draws a card, but okay. Aberrant. 1 green, 1 an X. Ravenous. This creature enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. If X is 5 or more, draw a card when it enters. Trample. Heavy Power Hammer. Whenever Aberrant deals combat damage to a player, destroy target artifact or enchantment that player controls. That's a good card. I like that. Tyranid Mutant. Next we got Pure Strain Gene Stealer. 1 green and 2, enters the battlefield with 2 +1 counters on it. Vanguard species. Whenever Pure Strain Gene Stealer attacks, you may remove a +1 counter from it. If you do, search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. Cool. Cool. Next we've got Tyranid Invasion. 1 green and 3, create a number of 3/3 green Tyranid warrior creature tokens with trample equal to the number of opponents you have. Okay. All right. That could be good in a big game. Trigon Prime. Creature Tyranid Subterranean Assault. Whenever Trigon Prime attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it. And 1 counter on up to another target attack creature. That creature can't be blocked this turn. Okay. That kind of reminds me of the old card Trigon Predator that was a flyer that killed enchantments. I'm digging it. Venom Thrope. CMC of 3, Flying Death Touch Hexproof. Okay. All right. I'm kind of digging this deck. I'm really liking the product they came out with. Goliath Truck. Stowage. Whenever Goliath Truck attacks, put 2 +1 counters on another target. Tapping creature, crew 2. I like that. That could go in my Shurikai deck. Okay. Next, we've got Aetherize. Return all attacking creatures to their owner's hands. Very strong. Very splashable. Inspiring Call. 1 green and 2. Draw a card for each creature you control with +1 counter on it. Those creatures gain indestructible until end of turn. Man, this deck seems really strong already. Bred for the Hunt. Simic and 1. Whenever a creature you control with a +1 counter on it deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. Wow. Wow. Hull Breach. I'm not even going to touch that joke. Hull Breach. Green and red. Choose 1. Destroy target artifact. Destroy target enchantment. Destroy target artifact and target enchantment. All right. Hull Breach. I like that. I'm a big Star Wars nerd fan, so I love spaceships and all that kind of stuff, so I love that. Next, we have got Herald's Horn. Everyone knows about that one. This is going to work really good in this deck because it's tribal. It works really well in any tribal deck. As Herald's Horn enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Creature spells you cast of the chosen type costs 1 less to cast. At the beginning of your upkeep, look at the type card in your library. If it's a creature card of the chosen type, you may reveal it and put it into your hand. Very strong. I'm digging it. Soul Ring, because Soul Ring. Ash Barrens, basic land cycling, a fix because it's a 3-color deck. Frontier Bivouac, cheap tricycle land. Cultivate, and an unclaimed territory. I like the cool new art that's on here. Check out this Frontier Bivouac. I love that. I love the old space scene with the planets in the background. I absolutely love that. I love stuff like that. I'm a big astronomy and space nerd. Explore, more ramp, draw a card. Farseek, more ramp. Harrow, sack a land, search your library for up to 2 basic lands, put them on the battlefield, then shuffle. New Horizons, enchant land. When it enters the battlefield, put a +1 counter on target creature in control. Enchant land has add 2 mana of any color. Okay. Overgrowth, enchant land. Whenever it's tapped, it gets an additional 2 green. Ramp, ramp, ramp. Rampant growth. Ramp, ramp, ramp. Arcane Signet. I'm liking the new Warhammer 40 art as well. Tap it, Cave of Temptation. Tap it, add a wingding. And then it helps you filter, sack it, put 2 counters on target creature, activate only as a sorcery. Command Tower. Gene Stealer Patriarch. 1 blue and 4, Gene Stealer's Kiss. Whenever Gene Stealer Patriarch attacks, put an infection counter on target creature defending player controls. Ooh. Children of the Cult. Whenever a creature with an infection counter on it dies, you create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's a Tyranid in addition to its other types. That's a rare. Exocrine. Tyranid Ravenous. Enters the battlefield with X counters on it. If X is 5 or more, draw a card when it enters. Bioplasmic Barrage. When Exocrine enters the battlefield, it deals X damage to each player and each creature. Cool. So it's basically a rock. It's basically a X spell creature that then does damage to each player and each creature. So it could be a board wipe as well. Digging it. The Red Terror. He is a legendary advanced species. Whenever a red source you control deals damage to one or more permanents and or players, put a +1 counter on the Red Terror. Okay. All right. I'm digging it. Screamer Killer. 1 red and 4. Trample. Bioplasmic Scream. Whenever you cast a creature spell with mana value 5 or greater, Screamer Killer deals 5 damage to any target. All right. Biophagous. Genomic Enhancement. Add 1 mana of any color. This mana is spent to cast a creature spell. That creature enters the battlefield with a +1 counter on it. I dig it. Bone Sabers. Artifact equipment. Whenever equipped creature attacks, put 4 +1 counters on it. Equip for 3. Also a rare. Broodlord. Creature Tyranid Ravenous. Same thing. He's an X spell. Brood Telepathy. When Broodlord enters the battlefield, distribute X +1 counters among any number of other target creatures you control. Ooh. I'm kind of liking this deck. It's got burn. It's got ramp. It's got ways to pump your creatures. Clamavis. 1 green and 4. Proclamator Hailer. Each creature you control gets +1 for each +1 counter on it. Wow. Okay. All right. Next, we've got Heru Specs. Creature Tyranid. 1 green and 3. Rapacious Hunger. Whenever another creature dies, put +1/+1 counter on Heru Specs. Devouring monster. Remove X +1 counters from it. Add X mana of any one color. I like this deck. This is a good deck. I wasn't very high on the Werborg Commander that came out. I just felt that it was weak and that it would get rolled by decks just like this. 2 green and 10. Frenzied Metabolism. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you may remove any number of +1 counters from among creatures you control. The spell costs 2 less to cast for each counter remove this way. Vigilance, Reach, Ward 2. Titanic. Hierophant, Bio-Titan can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. Hierophant, Bio-Titan. I like it. Very interesting. So guys, as you're watching this, if I'm going too fast, just slow it down and look at the cards. Also, if you've got any ideas, anything you want to say, just put them on the comments. Anything you think that would make this deck better. So our community can see what you're writing and how we can make these decks better. Hormagaunt Horde. Ravenous. Endless Swarm. Whenever land enters battlefield under your control, you may pay a green and 2 if you do return Hormagaunt Horde from your graveyard to your hand. Okay. Lictor. 1 green and 3. Flash. Pheromone Trail. When Lictor enters the battlefield, if a creature entered the battlefield under an opponent's control this turn, create a 3/3 green Tyranid warrior creature token with trample. Wow. This deck is, just at a cursory glance, very strong right out the box. Nexos, 1 green and 1. Strategic Coordinator, basic land you control have. Tap it, 2 wingdings. Spend this mana only on costs that have X. Next is Old One Eye. I am not even going to touch that one. 1 green and 5. Trample. Other creatures you control have trample. When Old One Eye enters the battlefield, create a 5/5 green Tyranid creature token. Fast healing at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase. You may discard 2 cards. If you do, return Old One Eye from your graveyard to your hand. It's not bad. It's the gift that keeps on giving. He's a 6/6 for 6. I kind of dig it. I'm liking the swarm mentality that this deck has. Sporocyst, green, XX, Ravenous Defender. Spore Chimney, when Sporocyst enters the battlefield, search your library for up to X basic land cards, then put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Okay, more ramp. Termagant Swarm, 1 green and X Ravenous, Death Frenzy. When it dies, create a number of 1/1 green Tyranid creature tokens equal to Termagant's Swarm's power. I'm liking it. Tervigon, 1 green, 1 and X, Ravenous, Trample. Spawn Termagants. Whenever Tervigon deals combat damage to a player, create that many +1/+1 Tyranid creature tokens. Toxicrene, 1 green and 3. He's a Tyranid. Reach, Death Touch. So, as you guys can see, this is a very good deck. I'm digging it. The tribal thing works really well. You put more tribal support in here, and this thing would really haul ass. He's got Reach and Death Touch. Hypertoxic Miasma. All lands have tap. Add 1 mana of any color and lose all other abilities. Okay. All right. Tyrant Guard. 1 green, 2 and X. Ravenous. A lot of Ravenous. Shield Wall, sack him. Creatures you control with counters on them gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Wow. So, this is basically slivers for Warhammer 40,000. And next we have got an Adelan Jackal, Trample Haste. He is a 2/2 for 3. Creature, Scout, Trample Haste. Skilled Outrider. Whenever Adelan Jackal deals combat damage to a player, you may search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. More ramp. Death Leaper, Terror Weapon. I love it. Terror Weapon. I love all the titles that these cards have too. Miasmic this, Death Leaper that. So he's a 3/3 for green, red, and 2 flash haste. Flesh Hooks. Creatures you control that enter the battlefield this turn have double strike. Yowza. I'm liking this deck. The first Tyrannic War. Green, blue, red, and 2. I'm noticing a lot of green, some red, very little blue in this deck. It's a saga. You may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield if its mana cost contains X. It enters the battlefield with a number of +1 counters on it equal to the number of lands you control. Very nice. Wow, that's really cool. Saga 2 and 3. Double the number of each kind of counter on target creature you control. Holy cow. Oh my God. I got to get me some of those. Gargoyle Flock. Simic and 2, flying. Sky Swarm at the beginning of your end step. If a creature entered the battlefield under your control this turn, create a 1/1 blue Tyranid Gargoyle creature token with flying. All right. All right. Interesting. Interesting. I'm liking this deck. It's strong. It does what green does. Stompy. Geyerson Star, Kellermorph. I like this guy. He's kind of like a space cowboy. That's my nickname, by the way. He's Izzet in 1, legendary creature, Tyranid Humid, Ward 2, 3 auto stubs. Whenever another sword you control deals exactly 1 damage to a permanent player, Geyerson Star deals 2 damage to that permanent or player. He's a gunslinger. I love it. Loving it. I saw some guys were talking about making him their commander. I mean, think about it. In Izzet, that would be pretty strong. You'd be gunslinging damage all over the place. Flying, scavenge the dead. When Malanthrope enters the battlefield, exile target player's graveyard. Put a +1 counter on him for each creature card exiled this way. Zoinks. All right. Man, I like this deck. Warlock. Green, red, and X. Ravenous. Lots of Ravenous. Boy, this thing slings a lot of damage, and it's got a lot of stompy. Terror from the deep. When Warlock enters the battlefield, it fights up to one target creature an opponent controls. If that creature would die on this turn, exile it instead. Yikes. I'm taking it. Ravener, Simic and X. Flash, Ravenous. When he enters the battlefield, target creature attacks target opponent this turn if able. Shadow in the Warp. Green. Gruul. Gruul in 1. The first creature spell you cast each turn costs 2 less to cast. Wow. Whenever an opponent casts their first non-creature spell each turn, Shadow in the Warp deals 2 damage to that player. Wow. Wow. I've heard about this card. So this set has a lot of really good cards in it, unlike some of the past sets. Tyranid Harridan. Simic and 4, Flying Ward 4, Shrieking Gargoyles. Whenever he or another Tyranid you control deals combat damage to a player, create a 1/1 blue Tyranid Gargoyle creature token with flying. Man, this could get out of hand quickly. Winged Hive Tyrant, Flying Haste. Yep, that's it. 4/4 Flying Haste, dude. And we've also got a Tyranid Prime. Simic in 1, 04, Evolve. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, if that creature has greater power or toughness than this creature, gets a +1 counter on it. Other creatures you control have evolved. Nice. Nice. Winged Hive Tyrant. I like this. I like the demons too. I really like this product. Izzet in 3, Flying Haste. The Will of the Hive Mind. Other creatures you control with counters on them have flying and haste. Nice. Nice. Yeah, so this is basically Sliver, but for Warhammer. I'm digging it. I'm seeing why these decks are so popular. Izzet an X, Ravenous, Flying Ward 2, Warp Blast. When Zeanthrope enters the battlefield, it deals X damage to any target. Starstorm. Deals X damage to each creature, cycling 3. Abundance. Enchantment. If you would draw a card, you may instead choose land or non-land card. Reveal those cards from the top of your library until you reveal a card of the chosen kind. Put that card in your hand. Put all other cards revealed this way on the bottom of your library in any order. I'm noticing there is a lot of rares in this. I see why the price has jumped on these. They're good cards. There's a lot of rares. Whenever a creature you control dies, put X +1 counters on target creature you control, where X is the power of the creature that died. Wow. Wow. Hardened Scales. We know about this one. Wow. Just imagine in this deck, if one or more +1 counters are put on a creature you control, that many +1 counters are put on it instead. Man. Stompy. Icon of Ancestry. 3. As in a battlefield, choose creature type. Creatures you control that choose a type get +1/+1. 3, tab it, look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card of the chosen type from among them and put it in your hand. Put the rest at the bottom of the library in any random order. Cool. Very good. Very, very interesting. And then we got a Cinderglade, Exotic Orchard, and now we get into the mana base. I'm really, really liking this deck. So, yeah, basically just dual lands and basic lands. I really like this deck. I see what all the buzz is about. I really dig it. So I hope you like this box opening. I love Magic. I love opening boxes. I love cracking packs. And I think it shows. I really, really enjoy making these videos. I hope you enjoy them half as much as I like making them. I like playing it. I play 2 or 3 times a week. And if you are here, if you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe. We are a fast-growing channel, and I don't want this to just be a channel. I want it to be a community. So the plan is to have a group chat, a store, all that kind of stuff, where we discuss deck ideas and all that kind of thing. Also, I don't know if you know this, I'm an airline pilot. I travel a lot. Go check out my travel channel. It's called Travelers in the World. I have 50 videos of all the cities that I've been to. We will put a link in the description, and also we're going to put the little icon right there at the bottom right there. So that's it. I'm going to get on out of here. Coming to you from a very nice, cool New Orleans, Louisiana. This has been the Commander Crypt. We'll see you on the next one.